Good evening. Welcome to Waking God's Child YouTube channel. I'm here with my co-host Candy Nelson, and we are coming to you live tonight. A little early, not Friday. It is definitely a Monday. With that said, my apologies. I have been working like crazy, and poor Candy has been extremely sick with, well, that's up for grabs there on that one, which is going to be part of tonight's topic with Dark Horizons and Eclipse Malaise. So there's an illness going around, as we know. But Candy, I'm going to just before we go any further with this, how are you doing tonight? And would you like to tell everyone what you've been going through?
Well, I'm not dead yet, but feels like it, but nope. Oh
Right?
my God.
It's
I
been
told
hard,
Lisa,
hasn't it?
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, well, what started it all was I kind of like brought it on because I made my first Mullen tincture and I took a couple of shots of that. But the next thing I know, man, my head just started hurting really bad. I slept for like 3 days straight, day and night. And then when I got up, it's like, oh, my head hurt so bad. But I started blowing, but it was like this clear stuff that was coming out of my sinuses. And but I just kept blowing and kept blowing, and I was like, man, it wasn't stopping. And so I continued to take the Mullen, and then it got into my chest, and I'm coughing up mucus. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, dang, and I kept blowing. Well, I was blowing clear stuff for like over a week. And then I finally started getting
Mm,
like a thick mucusy yellow and some green thick stuff. And I was like, finally, because I knew there was stuff that's been clogged up in there for over 20 years and I was trying to break it loose. But sure enough, it's like, so I'm still not fully like, it just keeps coming. But at least I'm getting some thicker stuff because I think that the clear stuff is the actual biofilm that's keeping all the other stuff up inside there. So
yeah.
every time I blow some of that out, it just creates more. So it just keeps coming, and I'm lucky if I get the thicker stuff out. And it's been really, really tough, and I've
Yeah.
been sleeping a lot, and but
So I
trying to get
imagine
sleep.
that is what's going on is the that's breaking up a lot of that biofilm for sure. And whether people want to believe it or not, our bodies are coated in a biofilm inside and out. That would mean the esophagus, the throat, everything, every internal organ. And again, first and foremost, hello, Kim Blanchard and Tets. Well, I mean those two, I guess.
Nothing
So
like this.
there you go. See, it happens. All right. Um, but you said the Mullen also,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and so anyway, I was happy, that it was blowing all out, but now it's been
Yeah.
going on 3 weeks, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted from just blowing, and my stomach was so sore from blowing so much. And I was telling Lisa the other night, I done blowed so much, I sounded like I was at the Daytona 500. It sounded like a race car. It's
Room,
just
room.
vroom, 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 and it just kept coming and coming
No,
and coming and coming. And
I feel
again,
so bad for you. I have been there. It's been years though.
well, and that biofilm it self-replicates. So
Yeah.
you got to keep doing it because it's like in order to get to the thicker stuff, you got to get through all that biofilm first. And
Yes. And there you
and
go. Exactly.
so,
Um,
but in my Mullen group, one of the guys was saying in there, he's like, "Hey, he's like, if you want to get that stuff cleared out of your head, he said you need to get you some golden seal root powder and snort you like a 16th of a spoonful."
okay.
And I was like,
I know golden seal root is good for so many things.
well, I got some of that, so I did it. Oh God. Oh,
I feel for you. And the guys, she's going on 3 weeks with this, and
yeah.
just
Plus, I took the tapering steroids that my doctor gave me the refill on. Took those,
yeah,
trying to get some of this stuff broke up, and I'm like, oh my God, this has been like freaking
yeah,
nightmare.
it's not fun, not cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm
so,
scared to take the eucalyptus. I'm scared to get anywhere near eucalyptus because Last time I did that, I wound up
Hooters
with a bacterial infection in the
extraterrestrials.
hospital.
Sorry. I,
Mm,
I
yeah.
just realized TETs, tutors extraterrestrials. Thank you
Mm.
for clarifying that. Because I'm like, wait, did I? When it came out of my mouth, it sounded a little different, but I mean, hey. So I love that. I love that. It's a good handle there.
Well,
So
I got a little nervous about getting close to that eucalyptus oil because last time I did that, I wound up with that bacterial infection and almost died. And I'm like, so my husband's like, here, if you want to dry this stuff out, take this. You want to dry it up? I was like, I don't want to dry it up. I want to blow it out, but it wanted to get out,
and it's still going. But that's self-replicating. That's why, there you go, too. It makes you wonder if it's self-replicating. It's got to keep on, right? It just makes you wonder if there's an end to any of this for any of us, and even those that are in denial and they wonder, why am I sick? What? This is such a strange illness. Where did I get sick from? This is weird. How come? What's been going on? Well, few of us could probably tell you what's going on. Would you listen? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. 90% will not. However, whenever it comes to the moment in time that you are ready to listen, we're still going to be here. And especially if your health continually starts to deteriorate and with symptoms and issues that you have never really had to deal with before, we'll be here to answer questions and hopefully lend a hand in any way we can, if not a shoulder to cry on, because Lord knows none of us were actually lent any of those during our journeys, but it has made bigger, better, stronger people out of us just due to that. And we definitely know how to empathize, sympathize, and be very understanding when it comes to this, because these are all the things that we were all neglected with, and we came out stronger. So as you can see tonight, again, I'm going to reiterate that this is about basically the eclipse sickness that a lot of people have been experiencing. And I say about. So the topic tonight, it's just in relation to, there was seemingly quite a few people that experienced fatigue, nausea, vomiting. Their equilibrium was off. Their balance was, off. They felt flu-like symptoms directly after viewing and being out in the elements of the viewing of the eclipse, so to speak. And it wasn't just like one or two. This was widespread, and an enormous amount of people complaining of these symptoms. So I don't know if any of you had heard about this, but I mean, it's very true. It's very real. And I found something interesting when I was looking into this. I myself did not get sick because somebody was so kind here to block out everything for the most part, so I couldn't catch much of it, but I did catch the tail end with some weird orb-looking thing zipping through there, which there were a lot of videos showing that same orb when or wherever they were viewing with the wide open eclipse. These orbs were just zipping through, and then this. I don't know. There was a lot of nonsense going on, to say the least, during that eclipse. Not to mention, the moon should never be able to block out the sun, given the distance. We're not going to go right there tonight. I just hope one day people can get the math done, and kind of figure that out, because math will always be math at the end of the day. History's a lie, but math, you can't change that. 1 + 1 will always equal 2 at the end of the day, and you're welcome. So Tutors ETs said, I just got a tumor removed from my neck on Wednesday. A great job they done. Grow my hair again, look like Frankenstein. Oh, I'm so happy that was removed successfully. You could never look like Frankenstein because you are God's beautiful child. I just want you to know that, first and foremost. And you're amazing. I can already tell by just how you've always been here, and everything you say is just so loving and godly. And so thank you for that. You are definitely a living example of truth and hope and letting your light shine. So back to the eclipse-related illness. Again, when I was online, I was kind of like, of course, I always try to gather as much information as I can, especially if I'm not experiencing it myself. But to me, these days, the word conspiracy gets my attention right away. You know, uh, 8 years ago, 10 years ago,
Mm.
somebody had said that I would have not. I'd been like, okay, that's just nonsense. Just like anyone else, just like all of you sleepers out there, I'd have been like, oh, that's nonsense. Oh, she just gone crazy. She just flat out crazy now. I would have said the same thing, except for guess what, guys? We're not, and the world's changing, and there's not just hundreds and thousands of us. There's millions of us right now, screaming and singing the same song. Okay, first and foremost, and nobody can just one day wake up and just have a coincidence with like 800,000 other people on the same day at the same time. It's just kind of not possible. Once again, math, 1 + 1 = 2. But so going through here, and I'm going to share this screen with you momentarily. Let me see if I can do this. Um, they were talking about an eclipse sickness well before April 8th of this one. Now, the funny thing is, I'd never heard of this before, like at all. Oh, that's weird. That's not sharing the right screen now, is it? So, all right, let me take this back down. Long story short, though, this has been something that's been talked about for a while, not understanding that at all. Andy, why did that make that's so weird? I don't really know exactly what's going on here, but I don't. Did you turn your phone sideways? Maybe what is going on here? There we go.
Okay.
All right, so hold on. Let me. And yes, Sam Walker from Long Beach, Texas. He's like the closest person I know as far as like my geographical location.
Mm.
He says learning is never ending. Amen, brother. Um, Tutors ETs. I love your singing. Amazing. Great. Thank you. Thank you. I love singing it because it feels good. You know, it feels uplifting and like, I don't know, I feel God, you know, and I can't sing worth a darn, but the thing is, like, when you lift your voice in praise, it's an amazing feeling. Okay, so I'm going to try to share this again. I don't know why that this has got to be so difficult. I do know why, because of what we're trying to show here. So let's try it again. Here we go. So they describe, is it up? Did it go up? Yeah, but not very big. All right, let me make this big here. All right, I think I did it. So it's described as, you can see here on the screen. Why is this so? Okay. Individuals have reported symptoms such as fatigue, balance issues, vivid dreams. And that right there should get anyone's attention. Flu-like symptoms during and after eclipses, attributing to eclipse anxiety or eclipse sickness. Now, this was just, I'm just showing you like a simple definition, okay, of what they've
Yeah,
shown here.
I've been having very vivid dreams lately.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And many, many others. How about you all? Anyone here that's with us right now? Or if you join us later, I mean, please put in the comments, what have you had vivid dreams? If so, and if you feel like sharing, can you describe what you've been, dreaming about? Candy, what are yours, if you don't mind me asking? And I'm going to share a different screen here in a moment while you're telling us about that.
Well, and it's hard for me to remember a lot of them, but one of my friends, I mean, she doesn't smoke. She's never smoked. And the other day I had this dream about her, and she was pregnant, smoking one cigarette right after another, and her mouth was trash talking like you would not believe, which was
It's
nothing,
not
no,
funny, but
no. And again, like I said, she's never smoked. I mean, and she's not a trash talker, and she
mm-hmm.
certainly is not at a stage to be pregnant. But I mean, she was obviously pregnant as all get out. I mean, smoking one cigarette after another and just ratchet jaws at people, just saying the most hateful, ugly things. And it was so vivid. And I'm like, hell, I didn't even tell her about it because I'm like,
Strange.
yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah,
So that
I've been
was
having similar, not like that, but I mean, just strange, out of character dreams, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
I'm like, that wasn't even no ways near her the way she ever presents herself. And I'm like, the hell?
yeah, I don't. So again, and that this is a symptom. Now, keeping in mind that All right. For all of you Texans, if you guys are from Texas here, aside of Sam, and my good friend Adrian, aside of that, if you guys think that there's no such thing as geoengineered weather, I'm going to tell you, it's time to actually wake up and actually do your math. You can look it up and Google it anywhere. In fact, Candy was just telling me tonight that I'm sorry, Candy, go ahead and tell them what you found. And I want you people to know in Texas, this is real. Nobody's yanking your chain, but about what the state. You said Massachusetts, right?
No, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay.
Somebody had posted in one of the groups about, and it was NBC News that published it. Was saying that they were trying to pass a law there in Tennessee to not allow their skies to be geoengineered, which we all know what that means. And
Not in Texas,
yeah,
apparently.
and so anytime I see anything like that, the first thing I look for is a date. And the
Thank you.
date, I think, was April 4th, 2024. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute,
Well,
that's
wasn't that the solar eclipse day? What a coinkydink. I don't believe in coincidences at all.
so
Goodness.
anyway, y'all know I'm kind of fearless and a little bit proactively peed off. So I copied
Maybe
the
you should
link,
be.
I put it on my Facebook page, and I hashtag my governor. So,
Hashtag GOV. Looky
right?
here. So, but at least like your governor's aware that there's a such thing as geoengineering. Here in Texas, they just think it's a conspiracy. Just those burn their conspiracies. We don't know any different because apparently they think Texas is its own country. And you guys, I live here. I do. And I'm not trying to disrespect, but I am saying wake up, wake the hell up because it's time. Geoengineered weather has been around, well, since the 40s, since Kennedy was in office, actually, probably well
And
before that. But I
actually, on
mean,
the
yeah, they
article,
were spraying. They've been spraying. Look at your clouds. Do they look normal to you? Is the sun
they
yellow
talked
anymore?
about,
Nope, it's not.
yeah, they talked about cloud seeding in there, and they talked about conspiracy theories
Yeah,
and different things like that. It's a lot of topics covered in that article, and I'm like,
it's
oh,
just
wait a minute,
bizarre
that
to me, that people haven't caught on yet. But then again, we also talked about as to more than likely why they're not catching on. Because there is a such thing as that stuff getting to your head and creating a tremendous amount of brain fog. Speaking of which, I would
yeah,
love for anyone to tell me that they're not feeling, number one, fatigued with all the symptoms I just said, but not experiencing an immense amount of brain fog. Like you just can't keep it together. Are you lacking motivation? Are you having problems remembering really important things like an
mhm,
appointment or your child's birthday or anything like I mean, this is a very real thing that is occurring with the entire human population globally. It's not just
mhm.
here and there and yonder. It's very real. But again, I'm going to say if y'all haven't been looking up lately, well, number one, something's probably telling you not to look up. So don't listen to those little voices and look up. But look at your cloudage or what they want to call cloudage or what you might be thinking is cloudage and ask yourself how or what could possibly make the formations that you're seeing, some of them being in geometrical formations that we already know in nature that does not occur, um, some of them being in the contrailing area. But we all know that that involves evaporation, and that is when your warm air hits the cooler air. And the altitude has to be kind of way up yonder in order for that to even occur, okay? Everyone's seeing it lower these days, but what I'm getting at is what'll happen is you're going to have this trail of condensation, which will almost immediately evaporate within a few seconds as that aircraft flies through, okay? Are you seeing that these days? Are you seeing them go away? Are they lingering? Are they lower than the altitude it should take? And I can't make this up if I try, guys. This is this is your truth. This is your logic. This is like anyone can figure this out. This is no conspiracy. So the only conspiracy that there is the ones that they're telling you is your truth that are lies. That there's your conspirators and your conspiracies right there. They're not theories. This is your truth. What color did you color the sun when you were a young child? Did you use a white Crayola? Or did you use a yellow or an orange? Raise of hands. Yeah, that includes me. What
Yeah, and
color is the sun
any of those
now?
were any of those clouds ever like straight line streaks?
Exactly. Or like I said,
No.
geometrical shapes like triangles and rectangles and all the nonsense that you shouldn't have. Or hey, what about those, lightning strikes that clearly
Rainbow
look like
clouds.
lasers coming from the sky? Anyone witness those?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few out there.
We didn't draw rainbow clouds either. We just like
Yeah, that's called radiation, folks. Just in case you were wondering, that's called a good dose of radiation. Probably what they call COVID with me, but all my hair fell out and I never had any cold or sneezing or any kind of throat issue. I was literally just deathly ill within 3 seconds of walking outside with, of course, the halo around the sun. Beautiful, beautiful rainbow, by the way. But deathly
yeah.
ill within 4 minutes. Hadn't been anywhere to capture
And
myself some
I
COVID.
remember watching planes too when I was a kid fly across the sky. When I'm looking up at the clouds trying to make animals, you see a plane go by. They
Right. What
didn't.
happened to those
They
fluffy
didn't
white
leave any.
clouds?
Yeah, they didn't leave any white trails then.
Never, never. And we are going to have some people that are going to be like, well, those are your contrails. Those are them. They're those contrails. The airplane fly through and they just leave the little white stuff. They fart out a white line. Yeah, they do. They just fart out that white line. But the white line should never stay there. Gas is gas. Fumes are fumes, and evaporation definitely occurs. Once
Maybe
again,
they had cattle on board.
something. Okay. So
Well,
in a sense,
the
yes, they are
cows,
fertilizing the sky, but not
yeah,
with anything really good for you.
that's what they
So
say. The cows are contaminating the earth and causing global warming because of cow farts.
we might as well just blame the dang cows. So don't eat beef, I guess. No, I mean it's true though, guys. I want you to think about this, and you don't have to be like, oh, I don't want to listen. I can't listen like my whole family does. I simply cannot hear this. Yeah, I cannot have any dealings with her. She's just a little much. I'm sorry if I rained on your parade. Sorry, not sorry. Actually, I'm not. You're going to hear it. If you don't want to hear it, turn the channel, turn the page, walk away. I don't care. Get out of my life like most people do. But if you want to hear the truth, I'm doing this. Candy's doing this. We're doing this. And so many people here that you can see in this comment section, from the depths of our heart, we're screaming truth. And the logic is directly behind it. It's like, I just told you what condensation should do and how that works. And they don't linger in the air for hours and spread out and then rain down on your vehicles a white powdery dust or stinging rain, or I mean everything people are experiencing. And I know you all know what I'm talking about, and in the back of your head you're like, it's kind of making sense, but no, I don't want to believe it, because
and
trust me, they don't
and
want you to believe it. They're going to
and
condition your mind to not believe it.
another thing too, if you don't think that some of those things are a direct result of morgellons, guess what? Research digital bovine dermatitis. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah. So and that's what I was telling Candy earlier, and we talk about this quite often. Morgellons disease is very real, so real. In fact, everyone's got it, whether you want to believe it or not. Everyone's got it. It would be impossible not to, first and foremost. But
And it's
that is a
not
very, very.
contagious. And it's not
It's
contagious
not
because
contagious when you already got it. How could it be, right? Everything's affected by this, because when you're getting things like heavy metals, all aluminum, strontium, barium raining down, and you're wondering, I wonder why my dad got Alzheimer's at 45. Oh, I wonder why my child has Down syndrome. Oh, I wonder why my child is literally completely off the charts with this anxiety like I've never seen, or you know,
autistic,
autistic,
ADD.
ADHD, all the A's, let me tell you, and all the new cancers that are out there. And trust me, you guys tell me you don't know someone right now that has cancer, that's dying of it, dealing with it, or going through it, and more than you ever had before in your life, knowing someone with it, if you yourself aren't already going through it. You guys know what I'm saying. Okay, this is no joke. It's not funny. It is the truth, and it's not a coincidence. People are affected by these heavy metals. And I'm sorry, I don't know why they're doing it, but I have a good feeling. Our sun is filled with solar bursts right now, solar eruptions. We are having nonstop solar flares. The sun is about to give, plain as day, which is why it's bright white and hot. And I mean, and why they, China's got the sun simulator, and I'm pretty sure we have one too, trying to hide it and pretend like no, everything's fine while they're building underground bunkers and everything else to save their own asses. Don't worry about that part. That comes later. This is a wee little talk here
And not only that,
on the
remember,
stuff you need to
there's
know.
there's no profit in healthy people. So what better way to make money is to keep people sick?
Exactly. Why
And
on
not
earth
only
would you
that,
think your government cared about you
yeah, and
anyway? Like,
when you're not healthy, it's harder to fight back, and you're desperate.
yeah.
So it's like, I can't get relief. Let me go to the doctor. Well, guess what? More money, more money, more money. Oh, we need to
Said
screen
this
you for
years
this.
ago. Georgia Guidestones had it written all over it, plain as day. Those were destroyed. Everything's destroyed for a reason. But I mean, there is nothing new under your sun. Clearly, nothing is new under the sun. We are living in the days of Noah, just like that, just like, oh snap, just like that. It's true. But again, I do believe that there's a blockage with all of these heavy metals, because that is the only way to redirect the very hot radiated sunlight away from Earth, to keep it from scorching and burning up and obviously causing cancer and many other things. Um, to redirect that light through these heavy metals, but these heavy metals, my friends, they're making us ill. But that doesn't explain the supernatural part, but it does, so to speak. It certainly does. Did I say the days of Noah? There you go. When you're living in the end
And,
times and all of these things are happening, your son's getting ready to go. I mean, and it's a no-brainer. Fallen angels are real. I mean, the supernatural is what? It's all part of that black magic, the occultist, which is your GOV in general, and the elitists all over, your big bankers, your Rockefellers, your Bilderbergers, your Bill to the Gates. I hope you go down to Satan's gates here soon. I know you will, by the way. And that's
yeah,
not even me judging. Like, you made your own bed, Bill.
and
Fill
not
it
only
up.
that, even if you don't have a medical reason to get
Hi, Joe.
tested for certain things like cancer, they've had these like routine mammograms, routine colonoscopies,
Yeah,
routine. Guess what? If you ain't got it, they're going to find it, because guess what? They got
trust
to
me,
treat
they
you
will.
for it. Yeah, they need to treat you for it. So guess what happens? They treat you for it. They kill your immune system. You don't have an immune system to fight back anything. So
But
guess
they're
what?
gonna get you a little dig and a little syringe, and you could just get that jab, and you'll make it all better. Did you see
And
how much better it made everyone?
yeah, but
I
look,
mean, come on
but
now. Who are you
and look,
kidding?
look, how many people? Oh, well, you're in remission. Well, 2 years later, oh, it's back.
It's
Sorry.
back. That is the story I hear from everyone that was in remission. And I'm serious when I say I don't know one person that wasn't in remission that didn't have it come back. Straight up truth, gospel, Bible, whatever you want to say. I don't swear on the Bible, because the Bible is your gospel and it is your truth. And actually, here's a funny little story. We wouldn't even have to sit here telling you guys everything that's already said in your Bible if you guys were really being the people and the believers that you were supposed to be. You can't call people crazy when it was written in scripture well before any of us were born, and for thousands of years. And when you watch scripture unfold right in front of your very eyes, like literally unfold, just as it was written, and then you call us crazy still, that's not very Christian like. And that's actually, you don't even believe then. You're not even a believer to call people crazy. But they said in the end, your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will have visions. Your young men will dream dreams. Your neighbor against neighbor, father against daughter, everyone's going to be fighting against each other. You'll hear wars, rumors of wars. The Euphrates River drying up, the red heifer delivered to Israel. I mean, I could go on and on and
And
on. There'll be signs of the
look at
sun, the moon, and the stars.
the Georgia Guidestones. Guess what? They're gone. So guess what?
Yeah,
They just erased history. So if that's
that's all
not,
they do.
yeah, and if it's not known on the internet and it's taken down completely in 10 years, that's going to be a conspiracy theory that never happened.
Well, heck, I'm thinking, like my kids, right? And I'm like, I don't understand how they're not seeing this. And then it hit me. They were born in an era where they don't remember what regular clouds look like. They never were regular clouds, for my youngest especially, but they erase history constantly. Again, there's nothing new under the sun. I want to say hi out loud again to Joe. Joe's here with us too, also. So hello, Joe. Thank you for joining us. Love you, Kim. She says, preaching it to the choir. Yes, we are. We're trying to. She knows. Everyone on here knows. But we we couldn't make this up if we tried. We couldn't. This is your biblical truth. This is your scripture. They erased history. They've erased history multiple times. The days of Noah is the days of Noah for a reason. We're living in Babylon right now. Babylon fell once and it's going to fall again. And I'm sorry. It's like, oh, she's bringing so much negativity. Oh, man, she is just a fear mongrel. Oh, well, be a coward. Be afraid if you really want to, or get over it because you got something better promised and way better waiting ahead. And it's about time to lose your fear, because also in scripture was the Lord did not give you a spirit of fear, right? There you go. And all you got to do is turn to him. He protects his children. He loves his children. And this worldly home here is just for but a mere moment. It's just a little thread of nothingness.
And I promise you, I'm living proof. When you lose your sense of fear and you no longer fear anything, oh, you get so much better. I'm so much better since I said, God, you've got to take this fear away from me. I can't live with this anymore. And it's like, man, my whole life changed once I lost my sense of fear and stopped fearing anything. I'm like,
yeah, that's one thing I've tried to tell everyone. It's like, you cannot have fear with this. It will never work. And I think most of us that are like us and everyone here in the chat, I never had a choice. There was nobody to turn to. There was no husband or daughter, or mom or dad or sister or brother. They were all a-holes to me, okay? And and if you're listening, you guys know I love you because I'm still here and I still every day love you unconditionally. But you hurt me, but that's not even the point. Like, you guys have got to know, like, I didn't even have a chance to be fearful. I think I was fearful for like that long, and it was like, I'm all I got, me and the big guy upstairs. And when it hit me right then and there, I got angry. I was just walking outside. I'm like, go ahead and try me, mother truckers. I'm like, I'm over it.
And I told you the story. What happened
you
with
can't
me?
touch me. I belong to God. I'm Jesus's child. I'm God's child.
That's
and I'm waking God's child or children up.
Yeah.
That's what
And I'm telling you, when I decided I was going public and I wasn't going to live in fear anymore, I told my husband, I'm like, I get it. If you're ashamed and you don't want to be with me, it's perfectly fine. I'll work it out. But I cannot.
Mine all didn't. They just left. They're like, okay, we don't.
And my kids, I was like, y'all can do whatever y'all got to do, because I cannot sit back and do nothing and say nothing, because guess I'm only accountable to me.
Yeah.
And y'all can't.
I told my own. They had me taken away, and all I could say is, this will not shut me up. I will never shut up. You can do whatever you want. You can commit me for 3 days in a psych house again, where they can just drug me up to where I'm just drooling out the mouth again and have no idea where I am. But every time I'm going to get back up and I'm still going to preach this to the choir and to the whole wide world. In fact, that just made me louder. I was so angry, but also so motivated by their disregard for my life and disregard for my own intelligence and disregard for, like, she just woke up one day crazy, just out of the blue. She just she took a few hard knocks on. I imagine that could just be so hard on someone that it could drive them crazy. So she probably is. Go ahead and take her away. No, guys, no. You totally underestimated me. I have always been stronger than you. I will always be stronger than you. I never had to crumble and cry whenever divorce or bad things happened. You know what I did? I said, stop the nonsense. I stood back up every time. So, family, if you're listening, don't forget that. Don't forget that. If anything, you are missing out on a good person. I love you. Angry with you, yes, a little bit. But God will take care of that later. But right now, all I want is for every one of you to just be able to make it where we're going and see the truth before it's too late, because we're there. We're in the time.
I'm glad you didn't shut up, because I'd have never met you.
Thank you. See, that is how Candy I met. She saw me yapping away out my my channel. But like I said,
Oh
when
my
you
God,
get
I gotta find her.
full human rights taken away and everything, like I had a young child star role in the play that night, and that was just like, thank you guys, thank you family for doing that to me. Thank you, because you made me roar so much louder. And one of these days, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks, and you're going to be like, I can't believe we did that to her. And I mean, I don't want you to feel sorry, though. That's the thing. I would never want you to have to feel this kind of pain. That's how much I love you. But what I do want you to do is wake up, because I care about you that much. All of my friends, all of my family. That's how much all of us here love our families so much. We try, we scream, we yell it from the mountaintops, just like God said. And even when we think no one's listening, I think people listen, because I have seen people wake up all around me saying, Lisa, I get it now. I see it. And people here in Sealy that, we're acquaintances, I'm getting people messaging me and calling me now and saying, wow, you're dead on. Like I saw it too. I get it now. And every day people are waking up, but I don't know why my family's got to be so delayed. That's the part that kills me. My aunts aren't. My aunts are so on board. They are not delayed. But everyone
Well,
that's remotely close, direct family, so
and
delayed.
again, it's
Bad.
like I told you a long time ago too. If I would have stopped talking about it, I wouldn't have gotten any support, because my support
Right.
came from total strangers that I met because they believed me the very first time I told them. And that's how I got my support system in the
Yeah.
beginning.
And see, and it works like that for some, and just not others. But I mean, again, Texas, or something about Texas, because I've heard people all around that are like us, different states, and eventually they get at least some of the response. But there's something about this state here I can't even put my, probably because the CDC's here,
Yeah.
NASA's here, and well, a big part of your elitist, your controlled system is right here, and well, Babylon too, but.
Wonder if that guy from Sprouts is still following your YouTube.
I guarantee you he is. I actually saw a comment a while back. I was going through them, and all I saw was something about the health or the natural. Are you still visiting the natural stores? So I knew immediately, but I didn't want to be wrong, because I'm like, well, it could be someone else. But Sam says he said I put my ship UFO pictures on Facebook from Friday and Saturday night, and got people saying basically, what drugs are you on? Yeah, I mean, that's how people act and how they treat others. And you guys, that's so wrong. I mean, your government. I mean, I was screaming UFOs, which I got taken away from and committed in 2016. My family was like, no, you need to go. She cray cray. And then, like, I swear to goodness, what was it, like 13 months later, the government comes out, yeah, there's some little bitty UFOs up there, and they're slowly trying to break it. But I mean, we all know that they've had the knowledge forever. But I mean, did I get an apology from my family for what they did? Nope. In fact, if anything, I stopped getting talked to completely, unless they absolutely have to. Like, well, I held a Easter dinner over here, so if they have to deal with me, they will. But they try so hard not to, because they don't want to hear it. And I wish they would stop that nonsense, because you need to hear it. You need the truth. There's nothing special about me, but God told me to tell you the truth, and I'm going to do it. I'm not shutting up. You think I like being persecuted? Do you think Candy likes being persecuted? Do you think Sam likes being persecuted? Do you think Kim or Ted's or any of it's Joe? Do you think we like being persecuted because you guys just don't agree and you want to be in the normal, I'm in the club group, but we're not? We can't be in your club. We don't want to be in your club. Why do you want to be in your club? Who needs a club when you could just stand in your truth? I mean, what happened to that? I'm just saying, you don't have to fit in. You should be the odd man out, because when you're the odd man out, that's probably when you're finally doing something right. And just some food for thought there.
I remember too when you first introduced me to your dad when I was there, and he's like looking all. First thing I was thinking in my head, he's like probably thinking, "Oh crap, they're multiplying."
Yeah, but honestly, there was living proof right in front of my family, my parents. Here's living proof, another woman just like me. What do you know? And you know what? They adored you. But then, like, you went and it was like their brains got wiped again or something. And that's kind of how this works. It's like a psyop. It's the craziest thing. And I wish I could put my finger on it, but all I can say is Satan is very hard at work.
Maybe
He's
they need
very
a
hard at
refill.
work on God's children, and I hope
Maybe they
people
need a
can.
refill. I need to come back. I
What's that?
said they need a refill. I need to come back.
Well, they're going to get in August. So, yeah. I mean, I love Candy, and she was the very first person I got to meet in person, in real life, like physical flesh, and it was amazing. And I know all of you that are experiencing, and not just morgellons, like anything that's out of the norm, that's not like in the club, with the other boring people around that in their clubs of yuppies or whatever, groupies or whatever they are. There's something to be said. It's so hard to actually physically come together with someone like you, but when you make it happen, and it is possible, because Candy and I are living proof, but it is amazing. Like, you can move mountains. You can move mountains. You can move mountains alone, but it's an amazing feeling, like the connection that you have. You find your real brothers and sisters this way. You find your real family this way. You find out you're not abandoned or alone at all. You have just a new family that you didn't know you had before. And it's the most amazing family. It's a stay family. It's a love you unconditionally family, just like, First Corinthians says, it's the actual family that stands by you. So if you ever get a chance to meet someone in the flesh, do it. Don't wait. Do it. Time is short here. It is. Jesus is coming, by the way. He's on his way, but we don't have to live in fear. We just got to make the best of every day, and we have to love fiercely, unconditionally, and don't stop screaming it from the mountaintops just because you can't fit in the club. You don't want to be in that club. I promise you don't. That
Yeah.
club is lost, and that club is never going to find their way if they don't pull themselves away from that club and, go AWOL,
Yeah.
which I did a long time ago.
And
So,
another thing, I don't care. Anytime you're traveling, try to seek out, somebody with morgellons that, or somebody that has something in common with you that you've never met before. I'm telling you, it's the most amazing. I can't even tell
yeah,
you how many people I'm like, okay, I'm going to Tampa, or I'm going to Georgia, I'm going to Tennessee. Okay, anybody there? And it's
exactly.
like, I'm here. I'm like, I'm coming.
So Joe says, I think the UFOs are demons. 100% without a doubt, demons, fallen angels, whatever you want to call them. I think people don't even realize, they're like, I don't believe in demons. I believe in aliens, though. The alien there. We're screaming the same song. It's just that, like, one actually has a book that supports the truth of it, And so that's why I kind of laugh when people are like, I believe in UFOs and aliens, but come on now, demons, heaven and hell. It's like cuppy cake. This, and then that. This book right here
I'm
supports
sorry, but
everything you're saying.
you
It's
know
the
what?
same thing, but it's the truth. Like, it's just written, and they're fallen ones. They're
Well,
demons.
yeah, yeah, I've seen them in the flesh, in the
Yeah.
flesh.
And not
Oh,
everyone has to see them and gets to see them. Please trust me, you don't want to. I've seen them too. I mean, it seems like it's those of us that have been brought to our knees by circumstances of whatever nature, that when you just have nothing left to lose and you're just all the way down, that's when God shows you and they reveal themselves at the same time, the truth and the reality of what they are, and you don't want to see them. But there's plenty on here I know that do. Sam's one of them. Hey, Hottie's here. Hi, Hottie in the house. But for real though, just take it from someone that knows, people like us. You don't want to see them, and you shouldn't even test the theory. You don't want to have to. But would it really hurt to listen? Because it's not like we're screaming something bad, like, hey, go drink a bottle of poison. No, we're telling you, you've been fed a bunch of lies. And it should be obvious by now, considering the muzzles over your faces and the injections that killed people worldwide. And, well, what killed people worldwide to begin with, and where'd it come from, and it wasn't China, and so many things you guys don't even know and you haven't even delved into to find out for yourself. What you did was turn on a news channel, tune into Tokyo, and be like, oh, so that's what happened. That's what that guy there with the toupee said. He told me that's true, though. You guys are liars. You're conspiracy theorists. The guy with the toupee on that channel 999 666, he told me. So you guys are wrong. I bet you anything we've done more research than any of those news anchors that you have ever watched. In fact, it's called fake news for a reason. And there's more truth in everything we say than what you'll ever see on television programming. Go ahead and look that word up if you want. Programming, television programming. You've been programmed. You're welcome. You have. That's where that whole word came from.
What they used to say. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
We'll bring you right back to your regular schedule right after this word from our sponsors, Viagra. I don't even know what that's for anymore. Celibate 8 years. Here you go, me. Something like that. Yep. But on a different note, your Lord is here. He's real. He's coming. He's inviting you, begging you to call upon him and invite him into your lives. And how could you go wrong with that? I mean, is it worth taking the chance? Is it really worth like being like, I don't know if I believe. I did see that little shadow man at the end of my bed one time. Now that was weird. I just don't know if I want to believe. If you're going to see that or you're going to believe in anything else, this would be the only bet you should be taking and believing in, because this is your truth. I am the way, the truth, and the light. Right? And I mean, I'm not messing around with that. It's not worth taking a chance. I know it's not a chance that I'm taking now. And now I know it's the truth because I've seen it. So many of us have, and you guys just need to listen, Lindas, because we have nothing to gain by telling you this. It's not like notoriety and like, oh, yep, we're the number one YouTube channel in the world. No, we're the most condemned. We are the most hurt, the most brokenhearted. But you know what? The Lord says, I am close to the brokenhearted. And it's because of him that we're here and we do what we do. And Tutors ET said, I paused on the OR video. I have, and there is a face in it. I think the crystal ball is a myth that came from ET's two-way cameras, drone. I have silly thoughts. They're not silly. They're not silly. They're valid thoughts. This is the things that we need to be sharing with each other, that we need to be talking about, because this is how we draw conclusions or maybe come remotely close. We may not ever find out what's really going on and what's really the truth, but we do know one truth thus far, that Jesus Christ lives, he's real, he's coming back, and all this nonsense here is taking place, and that's enough for me. Kim said, I've not seen them, but when I go outside, especially at night, I know something is there. Yeah, you can feel it. That is for sure, Kim. No, something is there. It always starts a breeze out of no, absolutely. And a bird starts chirping it every single time. She's so dead on. And here's the other thing, guys. I've been dying to say this. Y'all ever notice that the second you go out, or the second you're thinking about a show you watched, or the second you're thinking about the next YouTube video you're going to do, is there not a small aircraft that flies over almost every time? You can always hear the hum of an airplane engine. And I urge and beckon any of you, all of you, every single one of you, next time you're watching a YouTube channel that's talking on the conspiratorial related issues, the ones that you know as truth, tell me you don't hear an airplane flying over at that exact time that you're watching them. It's like clockwork, guys. Mark my words. Start listening. Every channel that you watch, all the people telling you the truth, listen for the small aircraft, small airplane flying over them like clockwork every time. You will hear it every time. Every time. Just like, oh gosh, what is his name right now that has the black helicopters in LA? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm just brain farting right now, but
The Blackhawks?
no, he's a YouTube channel, but I always got the black helicopters too. That's why I related to him, because I understood what he was talking about. But him, any channel like Skinwalker, you listen for that small aircraft. You are going to hear like clockwork. In fact, when we're off of here, go flip through some of your channels when they're outside and just listen and tell me you don't hear an aircraft flying over. Sounds like a little small single engine aircraft flying over right as they're talking about it. Gospel, I'm just saying, and you can hear it in every single one of my videos as well. So just food for thought. I mean, because there's something to that. But some of this I think is government related, and technology that may have come from the fallen or may come from them, but I do believe in the supernatural, and I do believe in demonic entities, and I think a lot of that up there has to do with them as well. Just me talking out loud here, but all right, guys. I think Candy definitely needs some rest. I got to get up at 3 a.m. to go towards Galveston in the morning for work. So I love you guys. Candy loves you guys. I know she does.
It's been,
And
what, a month since we did one together?
3 weeks, yeah, it has. That's why I was like, and that's the other thing. I have to work this weekend. I'm almost positive. And if we surprise you Friday, you're welcome. Or you feel like, oh, dang, it's them again. But I mean, I have to work starting tomorrow and hours away. So, long story short, that's why we're on here tonight. And I want to thank you all for who did join us tonight, and thank whoever joins us later very much from the depths of my heart. You guys are amazing. Keep singing your song, preaching your truth, and being the light. We need to shine as brightly as we can, and the more lights we have, the brighter the way.
Yeah, and Kim,
So,
thank you for your well wishes in the very beginning. I'm sorry I didn't get to comment on that earlier.
yeah, Candy, they know too. Candy's so sweet. She's always concerned about everyone, and I love that about you, Candy. Kim,
Thank
thank you always. You're always so good to be here. Hottie, um, gosh, we had Kim, Hottie, Sam, Joe. I did not see. Did I see? No, I didn't see Sharon, but she didn't know because this was last minute. But
you. Yeah, no,
I
already.
don't like if I didn't mention your name. Trust me, I'm always. I like you're there in my head every time. I think about you guys all the time, all of you, and when you guys comment on things and you tell me things that I even like. No, I didn't think about it like that. That's something right there. So thank you for that. Like I said, this is how we arrive to a better tomorrow and conclusions that are more valid than what a flippin' world government has told us, because that's a bunch of lies coming from them. So many, so many. Anyways, all right, guys, I love you, Candy, and I hope you get some rest. And we will be back with you. And I'm not going to even give you a time or a day because I don't know. So, but I hope you feel better, Candy. I really do.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
All right, guys. Bye. Love you guys. Mwah.
Good night,
Have a good
everybody.
night. See you soon.